The 12 Labors of Heracles, a legendary saga. Greek mythology is brimming with tales of heroes and gods, but few stories are as enduring or as awe-inspiring as that of Heracles and his 12 labors. These monumental tasks, designed as both punishment and a path to redemption, test the limits of human strength, intellect, and endurance. By overcoming the impossible, Heracles not only cements his legacy as the greatest of all heroes, but also earns his rightful place among the gods of Mount Olympus. Let us journey into this mythic epic, where mortal resolve and divine will collide in a saga that has inspired humanity for millennia. Heracles, born of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene, was destined for greatness. Yet, this destiny was marred by the ruthless hatred of Hera, queen of the gods. In a fit of rage instigated by Hera, Heracles committed a terrible crime. He struck down his own family, an act that plunged him into despair. The god Apollo directed Heracles to serve King Eurystheus of Mycenae, who imposed upon him 12 impossible tasks. These were not trials for a hero's glory but a calculated effort to destroy him, as Hera manipulated Eurystheus' every move. But rather than faltering under the weight of these challenges, Heracles embraced them, proving that resilience and courage can conquer even the gods' cruelest designs. Heracles' first test was to slay the monstrous Nemean Lion, a beast with an impenetrable hide that terrorized the region of Nemea. Conventional weapons failed against its armor-like skin, but Heracles, undaunted, relied on his bare hands. With unmatched strength, he strangled the lion, wresting victory from sheer determination. Heracles then skinned the beast with its own claws and fashioned the hide into a cloak, a symbol of his invincibility and courage. The second labor took Heracles to the swamps of Lerna, home to the Hydra, a serpent-like monster with multiple heads that regrew doubly when severed. This labor was not just a test of strength but intellect. Assisted by his nephew Iolaus, Heracles devised a brilliant strategy. After cutting off each head, Iolaus cauterized the neck, preventing regrowth. The immortal central head was buried beneath a heavy rock, forever neutralizing its threat. Through perseverance and ingenuity, Heracles proved that even the most insidious enemies can be defeated. Next, Heracles was tasked with capturing the elusive Ceryneian hind, a sacred deer of Artemis adorned with golden antlers and bronze hooves. The hind was not to be harmed, adding layers of complexity to this mission. For a year, Heracles pursued the deer through forests and mountains, displaying patience and persistence. At last, he captured it without inflicting harm and negotiated with Artemis to return it temporarily to Eurystheus, fulfilling the labor with diplomacy and tact. The fourth labor involved capturing the fearsome Erymanthian boar, a beast that wreaked havoc on the countryside. Heracles employed his wit, driving the boar into a snow-covered terrain where its movements slowed, leaving it vulnerable. He restrained the beast and carried it alive to Eurystheus, who, overwhelmed by fear, hid in a large jar, a vivid testament to Heracles' dominance. For the fifth labor, Heracles faced a seemingly humiliating task: to clean the filthy stables of King Augeas in a single day. These stables, housing thousands of cattle, had not been cleaned in years. Refusing to succumb to embarrassment, Heracles used his intellect once more. Diverting the courses of 2 rivers, he flooded the stables, washing them clean in hours. Heracles turned the mundane into the extraordinary, demonstrating that no challenge was beneath his dignity or beyond his resourcefulness. The sixth labor pitted Heracles against the man-eating Stymphalian birds, creatures with sharp metallic feathers that they could launch as deadly projectiles. These beasts infested a swamp, making conventional combat nearly impossible. Guided by Athena, who provided him with bronze clappers, Heracles used sound to startle the birds into flight. Taking advantage of their confusion, he shot them down with precise arrows. Victory came from a blend of divine aid and mortal skill. The next task led Heracles to Crete, where a colossal bull was wreaking havoc under the influence of Poseidon's wrath. Facing the beast head-on, Heracles subdued it using raw strength and steely determination. He then transported the creature back to Mycenae, an act that underscored his ability to command even nature's fiercest forces. The eighth labor involved the capture of the man-eating mares belonging to King Diomedes. Known for their savage nature, these horses fed on human flesh. Heracles subdued them by first defeating Diomedes, feeding the tyrant to his own herd, and thereby pacifying the beasts. Heracles' ninth labor required him to retrieve the magical girdle of Hippolyta, the queen of the Amazons. Initially, Hippolyta agreed to gift him the girdle willingly, impressed by his stature and courage. However, Hera sowed discord, leading to a battle between Heracles and the Amazons. The 10th task sent Heracles to the farthest reaches of the known world to capture the cattle of Geryon, a three-bodied giant. Along the way, Heracles faced numerous challenges, including the blazing heat of the desert, which prompted him to shoot an arrow at Helios, the sun god. Upon reaching Geryon, Heracles defeated the giant and secured the cattle, bringing them back in another feat of endurance and determination. Heracles' penultimate labor was to retrieve the golden apples of the Hesperides, magical fruits guarded by nymphs and a fearsome dragon. Knowing he could not take the apples directly, Heracles sought the help of Atlas, who agreed to retrieve them if Heracles temporarily shouldered the weight of the heavens. When Atlas returned, he attempted to leave Heracles burdened, but the hero, with quick wit, tricked Atlas into resuming his duty and escaped with the apples. The final labor saw Heracles venture into the underworld itself to capture Cerberus, the three-headed guardian of Hades. Armed with no weapons, Heracles relied solely on his strength and willpower to subdue the beast. Even the gods of the underworld respected his resolve, allowing him to return Cerberus unharmed to Eurystheus. By triumphing over death itself, Heracles affirmed his unparalleled heroism. With the completion of the 12 labors, Heracles emerged not just as a hero but as a symbol of human perseverance against insurmountable odds. His strength, courage, and resourcefulness transformed him into a mythic figure worthy of divine immortality. Elevated to Mount Olympus, Heracles became a god, his trials cementing his legacy as an eternal source of inspiration for all who face their own impossible challenges. The story of Heracles reminds us that, even in the face of overwhelming adversity, the human spirit remains unconquerable. These labors, though steeped in ancient myth, carry timeless lessons of endurance, wit, and the triumph of courage. Step by step, Heracles exemplified what it means to transform punishment into glory and suffering into redemption.